So we're on the range today, and as I sit here and get ready for, do my range stuff and get everything ready and start loading my magazines, stuff like that. One of the drills we're going to be doing today is a Mozambique drill, and one of the things while I do a lot of research, I do a ton of research on a lot of things, but when I do certain drills, I like to, especially when they have you know names like the Mozambique drill. And just in short, why do we call it a Mozambique drill? I've always called it a failure drill. Two to the chest, one to the head, lights out type of thing. And so what happened? How this really originated was from a guy named Mike Rousseau, and he was a mercenary um, back in the War of Independence for Mozambique. And so what happened is, in short, the way this came about was back in the early 60s. And it came about to where he was being attacked. And there was a guy that was attacking him, somebody that was attacking him, social that was attacking him, whoever it was. Um, Rousseau took 2 shots to the chest, or he shot the guy with 2 shots to the chest with an AK-47. Guy did not go down, and he was still coming at him, still attacking him. And so what happened is, he said, hey, he had to go to the head. Now, this was before it became a drill, obviously. The drill was named after this guy. Now, when we get into the legalities of doing drills like this, and for the sake of what we're going to do today, or part of what we're going to do today, we're going to call this, it's a failure drill. And why do we call it a failure drill? Well, basically for the same reason of what happened back then, the story I just told you. And that is because if we do a drill like that in real life, if we do that, we ever come encounter something like that in real life, we have to explain why we shot this guy in the head after we shot him 2 times already. And they don't teach it, as far as I know, with any law enforcement that I've seen or anybody that I've trained with or trained in law enforcement. And I'm going to guess it's because of the legality of it. Because how do you explain to that? Well, it's a simple explanation. You can go ahead and scour YouTube all day long, and you can come up with drills or see people. You can see law enforcement do these drills in in real life. You got a guy that's coming up, and this is pretty famous. This is pretty famous. Look it up. This is pretty. I'm going to say a pretty famous, or pretty watched video. You have a guy that was assumed to be on bath salts, and if you don't know what bath salts are, it is a drug that that gets into your system, and it's a total euphoric type of thing that makes you feel infallible. This guy's coming after this cop. This cop is just shooting off rounds and rounds and rounds into his chest. The guy just is not going down. And what happened is the cop didn't create enough distance between them. Well, luckily, the guy finally went down and bled out. But when you shoot somebody in the chest, and you have somebody like that, that might be high, right? That might have this euphoric feeling that they can't be stopped. And if you shoot them, you got to think about it. Even if you shoot them in the chest, that's going to take probably 30 seconds for them to bleed out, right? And you guys still got this guy still coming at you. And at that time, you might be backed into a corner where you might not have a chance to get away from this guy if he's still coming at you, even though you put 2 shots into him, right? Your only alternative really is to go right here, right in that soft tissue part, And what it is just basically it's a square or a rectangle right here, right? And that's your computer. Once you get that computer, it goes out. And that's what you have to do in some cases. Now they don't teach it. Um, I teach it because you just never know. It's a good drill to learn too. It's a great, it's a great learning as far as accuracy and stuff like that. But anyway, that's one of the reasons why we're going to do today. We're going to go ahead and go through this Mozambique drill. All right.